Welcome back. You are still watching Morning Live. Now, today we speak to a man who has brought continental glory to two great African sides, Mamelodi Sundowns as well as Ahly of Egypt. Now, he amassed a staggering 11 trophies during his time with South Africa's most dominant side in recent times. Good morning, Coach Pitso, Mosimane, and welcome to Sport on Morning Live.
Good morning, South Africa. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us, Coach. Now, Coach, you are no stranger to accolades as well as awards. You recently won the Holland Sport Industry ESPN Leadership in Business Award. But before all the awards and the accolades was just a young Pitso Mosimane who aspired to be a professional footballer. Talk us through those days and your aspirations, and obviously getting the opportunity to travel the world due to the beautiful game of football.
Well, I think I started like any other football player from South Africa or Brazil or wherever wherever all the corners of the world. We all come from the same areas. Most of us, about 95%, we come from humble beginnings, and we come from the townships or favelas. We love the game because the game is played in the backyard. We play in the streets. The game is played everywhere. Easier to play, and we fall in love with the game, you know. And obviously our parents and I have a history of uncles who have played for Pirates and Chiefs, the twin brothers, the Koza brothers, who played for Pirates and Chiefs. And my mother was a big football fan, but my grandmother was a big football person. Same as my father coached football. So that's where I come from. And then you play at school, you play amateur level, and then professional, and then you go overseas, and then, you know, that's the path.
Okay, let's fast forward into a later part in your career, Coach. Now, when you took over SuperSport United from Bruce Grobler, you and the late Thomas Madikhache elevated SuperSport United from a mid-table team to one that would go on to win numerous titles. Talk us through that journey of transforming that team with your late friend, Brad Thomas.
Yeah, I just have, I don't know whether it's luck or bad luck of coming to teams that normally are struggling on the league when I take over. So I took over SuperSport United. We're lying second from the bottom. And yes, I was brought by Thomas Madikhache, and he's the one who launched my career, to be honest. He brought me to SuperSport United, and he told me that I played with you at Jomo Cosmos because we were two teammates at Jomo Cosmos. I know what you have. You're the only one who has it. And I said to him, but I don't have experience. I've never coached a Premier Soccer League team. He says, you've got the leadership. You can do that. I know my team needs that. And you've got the understanding and the brains of the game. And then he brought me and he gave me his role. He was the assistant player coach. He gave it to me, and then he says, I'll continue playing. I mean, how generous was that guy? You know, you never find people like that. What an amazing guy. And then we started SuperSport United from the beginning. We went to recruit players from the Sports School of Excellence, young players, because SuperSport United had matured players, but not really doing the job. And we brought those teams. And I think the biggest success we've had is taking the team from the bottom of the log and taking it to the second and playing Champions League group stages, and also qualifying for 6 cup finals in a row. And we won 2. And we're never out of top 8. So that was the biggest achievement we have done at SuperSport United.
Let's now move on to your better half, your spouse, Osmoira. Now, she's the hero that very little is said about her. Talk us through the importance of actually having that type of support, not only in your personal life, but also in business.
Yeah, well, she's amazing. She's a pillar of strength in the family and also in my career. She's been the one who's supported me with all my contracts. She signed all my contracts. She helped me at SuperSport United. In fact, she found me already at SuperSport United, to be honest. She helped me with the contracts of SAFA, South African Football Association, and also helped me with the contracts with Mamelodi Sundowns. But yeah, beautiful family we have, and we have a youngster who's crazy about football and crazy about basketball. And And my other two children are more academics and all that. They love more the books than the game.
Coach, you've touched a little bit there on Bafana Bafana as well as SAFA. Let's move on to your life now as a Bafana Bafana coach. It made sense at the time, you were doing really well, and it seemed like a perfect fit. Talk us through that experience for you, both the good and the bad.
Yeah, well, Bafana, I would like to stay more on the positives because there's not too much on negatives. To be honest, the negatives just I got fired. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
I got fired for losing 2 games in 2 years. What an amazing decision that was done by the Football Association. But the biggest positives out of that is that I was brought into South African Football Association by Dr. Molefi Oliphant. He was the president of Football Federation at that time. He brought me in from SuperSport United, and then he wrote me in whilst I was still the coach, sometimes interim coach and all that. And he saw talent in me that no one ever saw. I didn't even know what he saw in me. He saw talent in me, and he brought me in slowly as an assistant and all that. And he gave me a break to be at SAFA. I would never be a SAFA coach without Dr. Molefi Oliphant. And obviously, the president who launched me as the head coach was Mr. Christian Nematandan. He's the one who endorsed me as a head coach of Bafana Bafana. And then when he left, I continued with Dr. Denny Jordan as the president. And at the end, I was fired. But I got a lot from SAFA. They were very good to me. They took me to school in Germany, and they invested a lot in me to be the coach of South Africa in future. And they kept me for 1 year, 1.5 years to be the coach of Bafana Bafana. For me, it was a waste of resources. Why you give me 5 years experience of being in the Confederation Cup, World Cup, take me to school to Germany, and then you fire me after 1.5 months? Yes, I mean, if you had a vision, maybe you could have demoted me, but they fired me.
Okay, Coach, let's move on to glory days at Mamelodi Sundowns. You take this team, Mamelodi Sundowns, and you make them a force to be reckoned with, not only in the continent, but really they do become the most dominant side on all fronts in South African football. Talk us through that.
Yeah, in fact, they are the ones who benefited from my sacking of Bafana Bafana. And I said, let me take a sabbatical. I said, I want to take 1 year rest, and maybe I'll come back to football. And then Dr. Patrice Motsepe, who has always been speaking to me, came for the 3rd time, he knocked on my door for the 3rd time, says, please, the 3rd time you have to be the coach of Mamelodi Sundowns. I took over also. They were second from the bottom also at that time, and it was not easy. But I think that picture tells you a lot that you see on the screen now. We won the Champions League, and I won the league 5 times. Sundowns has won the league 10 times 10 times, but I won it 5 times because it was launched it's 50 years old team now. So I won the league 5 times, and many other trophies. We took the team to the highest level in the continent and international level. We went to the World Cup. We won the Africa Super Cup. But thanks to him, because he had support, he had resources that he could help me, and I could recruit all the players that I wanted. But Mamelodi Sundowns has been I found it being the team that's always had resources and always buying players. He was coached a lot by all the many, many European coaches, big coaches from Barcelona, Christos Stoichkov from Barca, Johan Neskins, the legend of Dutch football. Also, well, I think I got the African flavor, the mentality of knowing local football and international football, and we transformed it into what it is today. But the guys also, when I left, carried on at Mamelodi Sundowns, and they're doing very well. It's a good brand, it's a good team, it's internationally recognized. The president of Mamelodi Sundowns at that time, Dr. Patrice Motsepe, He also moved on to be the president of CAF. I've moved on to be the head coach of the biggest team in the continent. Ahly is the club of the century. It's the biggest team in the Middle East as well. One of the biggest teams in the world.
Talking about the club of the century in terms of the African continent, coach, leaving home is something that's always dreaded, but you bolster up the courage, you leave the comfort of what you know here in South Africa, and you go and you coach in Egypt. Tell us about how the South African football landscape then compares to the Egyptian Premier League.
Yeah, it's chalk and cheese, to be honest. A lot of people don't understand what I'm talking about, because sometimes we look at domestic. I mean, here I'm dealing with international football. It's in South Africa. The international football that I dealt with was only to be doing the Champions League. Here, I'm dealing with global football, because the team has won awards. The team is even nominated to be Club of the Year with Barcelona, Real Madrid, Manchester United. Even last year was nominated, and it won the club, the biggest club in the Middle East. It won the award. This year again we win that, but because we have done a lot of work, and I've had the support from President Khatib. He's played for Mohamed. He's played for Ahly. He's a legend. He's a person like a Dr. Kumalo or Lucas Khadebe, well celebrated, but a very, very intelligent guy. So we took the team last 7 years. The team was not in international football, meaning winning international trophies. And we won one of those prestigious trophies. This was the second one we won in a row. And hopefully we go for the third one. And we are in the World Cup twice now. We're going back to the World Cup. And we've done the CAF Super Cup in Qatar and Doha. So we are in the global space now, fighting against the big teams. Fortunately, I was nominated also amongst Coach of the Years in the world, but I fell out. And if you see the latest, you saw what happened. There's big coaches like Pep Guardiola and them. Yeah. But for me to be nominated against those guys has been brilliant and has been good for me. And at Sundowns, I was also nominated. I was top 10 in the world at one stage. And I thought maybe this story was a fake story, or it was fake news. But it was true. But I'm happy. We have done well at Ahly. And we are sitting on top of the log at this point in time. You can't ask for more.
No, Coach, we really cannot ask for more, and you say so much, and that nomination itself just says a lot of what the world of football thinks of you. Coach, there are people sitting at home that don't understand the enormity of coaching a team like Al Ahly. Now, you've once compared losing for the Egyptian Giants to a period of mourning. Talk us through the pressure and the expectation from the Al Ahly faithful.
Well, if you travel the world, the Egyptians are all over the world. Wherever you go, you find Egyptians. I went on holiday in Thailand. I found the Egyptians restaurants, and they brought me in to have a lunch for free. And by the time, I was still a coach of Mamelodi Sundowns, to be honest. And wherever you go, the fans are global. In America, there's a lot of Egyptians. In the Gulf, wherever. In South Africa, there's a lot of Egyptians. So that shows how big the club is. And we have about more than 70 million supporters. 70 million supporters is more than the population of South Africa. Just imagine a team having support like that. So, and they love the team. And they're used to success. They've been winning without me. Yeah. I've just joined a team that has won a lot of trophies. If you come to our museum here, you will understand how big the club is. It has played against Real Madrid. It has played against Bayern. It has played against the biggest teams. So such a huge, huge team. And they don't understand anything but winning. And here you must win. It's not like back at home. Back at home, sometimes I draw, sometimes I lose, and 4 games in a row without a win. Here, 4 games in a row, I don't think you'll be sitting as a head coach of Al Ahly. You must win a lot. You must win so much. You have to win.
Certainly, Coach. You speak about Al Ahly playing against some of the biggest teams in the world, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. Let's now move on to the Club World Cup. We know that the draws come out, and that will be taking place in February, and you have been drawn against the 2021 CONCACAF champions from Mexico, Monterrey. And obviously, if you win in that round, then you go on to face Brazil's Palmeiras. Coach, how are you feeling about that and the draw?
Yeah, first experience is amazing. You have to be honest, to appreciate that you got an opportunity to be there. For me, it will be the third time now going to the World Cup, Club World Cup, and I don't think there's any other club in the continent or in the world that every coach strives to be in the World Cup, whether at the international level with national teams or at the club level. So I'm happy that I'm doing it at club level, and you're facing all these big teams. We've been there. We have struggled last year, but we have done well. We got the bronze medal out of the whole tournament. So we got a bronze medal for Africa. So we're currently the third best team in the World Cup at the moment, and we hope to do better because the Mexicans are a little bit tricky. They're very good, and then if we go through, or when we go through, I should talk like that. We face Palmeiras. We beat Palmeiras last year to the medal. Those are the giants of CONMEBOL, which is the South America mixed with the other continents. So you know that they have the Brazilians and the Argentinians have got, they produce top players from Lionel Messi to Neymar and all that. But we managed to beat them last year, and hopefully we go through and we beat them, and you don't know who you will face in the final. I believe we'll be in the final. I have to be positive. Yes, you have to work for it, and anybody listening will say, "Oh, a little bit of arrogancy." But if you've been to the I've been to the quarterfinals with Mamelodi Sundowns now, and we've been to the semi-final with Ahly. Why shouldn't I look at the final now? I mean, it's possible. It's normal. It's progressive. It's proper. Projections, it's not being dreaming. You can make it.
And finally, Coach, just as I wrap up with you, just a quick one, Coach. Where to for Coach Pitso Mosimane? One day coming back to South Africa, are you looking at coaching in Europe? And as we wrap up, you can just quickly tell us about your initiative, Pitso wa Leboga.
No, the Europe story is Europe is not ready for African coaches. There's not African coach in Europe. We have to tell it the way it is, and it's the truth. Even on nominations, Europe is not ready for a coach to be nominated. If you really honestly look at on merit what I have achieved as a coach of Ahly to the nominations of people nominated in Europe, they have not won what I have won. If you look at continental or at club level. But Europe has been Europe in football. We have a long way to go with Europe in football. There's a lot of transformation that needs to happen. There's a lot of recognition that needs to happen. Sometimes you feel like football is only for European countries. It doesn't even recognize South America. Nobody else but Europe. I mean, you can even see it with the Ballon d'Or. I think Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah should have won it. They're scoring goals every week, but they don't win it. You have to be playing. I don't know. You have to be a European a lot to get that. Or unless you are a Lionel Messi and a Ronaldinho playing for Barcelona and all that. But the truth of the matter is that Europe is not ready for Africa. To be honest, and it's the truth. And we all say it. And Marcus Rashford at Man United has said it. Raheem Sterling has said it, that there's a lot of transformation that needs to happen in football in terms of racial and black and white issues. I don't want to say discrimination, but isolated. We are a little bit isolated in that space. But somebody else might say discrimination. But we feel like that. We don't have a chance to be coaching in Europe. Doesn't have a chance for us. But we continue with our lives. We are here in Africa, and we are in the Middle East. And why not? We can still do it whilst we are here.
Certainly, Coach. Thank you so much for your time this morning, and good luck with the Club World Cup, and good luck with your endeavours at Ahly.
Thank you very much. We'll try and represent the continent. We'll try and represent the Egyptians. Also, carrying the national flag for my country.
Thank you so much. That is, of course, Coach Pitso Mosimane of Ahly, talking all things football as well as his career. What a time to be alive in South African football. We do now take an ad break. After the break, more Morning Live.